welcome to another video. And this video I'll be discussing is reading the only way to learn? Now, when we look at these productivity YouTubers, we look at like all the big entrepreneurs. We have Mark Zuckerberg, we have Bill Gates, we have Elon Musk, we have what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Almost forgot him. Jeff Bezos is the best. He's the best out of all of them. I don't know why I forgot him. Steve Jobs. And all these entrepreneurs, they all are like voracious readers, or at some point in their life, they were voracious readers. Now, I'm starting to question that. Like, is reading the only way for people to create the same amount of output? Now, for me, I think reading is the most beneficial. I think it's, to me, what I define reading as is literally a conversation, a private conversation between you and the author. That's what reading is, a private conversation between you and the author, especially when you're reading a biography and things like that. And I'm questioning that now, because we have podcasts now, we have YouTube videos, there's a lot of sources on the internet, we have articles. I mean, articles technically still you reading, but do you technically need to buy books now? I remember a long time ago, I was listening to a podcast on Ali Abdaal's channel, and it was him and the founder of Huel, and he said that he doesn't even like reading, but he's running, I think, almost $100 million, maybe even $1 billion company. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, is reading truly the only way? I think he said that he only listens to podcasts. And the thing I was questioning now is, like I said, is reading the only way? And I'm starting to think that it isn't, but I think it just depends on the person. For me, I like more analog things. I'm not sure that I don't really like podcasts because I think I don't really retain as much information as when I'm listening to that. When I read articles, I don't think I retain as much information. And I feel like when I'm learning topics, it's more loose, it's more sporadic, and I have to like piece it together. Whereas if I have a book, it's all on one topic. So I'm able to piece it together better because it's just that one thing. And I can read like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3, 4, 5, 7, 17 books on one topic and get a better understanding than me reading articles on the internet on Google or YouTube and trying to etch the ideas together. Because the thing about the internet and you using that as like an actual main source, and to me, unless it's for coding or something like that, because like there's objectivity to coding. Like most of the times, like when you're making a project, right? Like there's some level of objectivity of like, okay, you have to piece this together based on the syntax. But like when it comes to learning, it's like, you don't really have that. It's like, especially when you're learning on the internet, it's like, anybody can post, like I'm doing right now. Like what I'm saying right now it's probably not going to be true. But when you have to build trust with me. This is going to a side tangent right here. But when you look at the internet, though, it's like you have to piece it together yourself. It's like you go on YouTube, you look up, how do I become a more effective speaker? And when you do that, you have to piece it together based on what information you think is right and what's wrong. Like, how do you know what is the best information? But when you read a book that you know has been around, it's like time tested, it's been around for some decades, you know that the book is somewhat reliable. Like we have, I'm gonna give this as an example, like Robert Cialdini's book Persuasion. Millions upon millions of people have read that book, and that book has been around for decades. I'm pretty sure it's on like the 4th or 5th edition now. That's a good book, is a good example. But imagine, like, and I've personally done this, if you look up how to become more persuasive, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff on the internet, on YouTube, from these random people, like, analyzing Keanu Reeves, or, doing something, and it's not even like the science of persuasion, which is the most helpful thing. I've seen more people benefit from Cialdini's book than I have from seeing people going on YouTube looking at how to become persuasive. Now, it's not to say that you can use that as a secondary or third source, but when it comes to learning, to me, I think books should be the primary way people are doing that. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm 17. I don't really know what I'm talking about at the time, but I think that books, to me personally, as an opinion, are the best way to learn. Now, if you like listening to podcasts more, go for it. Listen to as many podcasts as you want. If you like watching more YouTube videos, listen to as many YouTube videos as you want. Because if that's your way of learning, that's your unique way. And I think that's important for these people in this day and age. I'm going to make a video on mimetic desire, but I think people get so wrapped up in copying other people. And it's not saying that copying is bad. Copying leads to you becoming your own person. But I think people get so caught up in like copying each other and mimicking people that they can't really create like their own source. Like they don't have anything. I was watching Alex Hormozy, and he kind of talked about this in his video. Like he goes on YouTube and he finds people talking about how to edit like Alex Hormozy, and I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, people are actually making videos on how to edit like him when they don't even have the kind of like platform they have, and they're just trying to kind of copy off of what he has. And to me, I'm not a big fan of that. And I can obviously see that he's not a big fan of it. So really what the gist of this video is to explore, really basically this is the end of it, but the whole gist of this video was to discuss, is reading the only way to learn? But it's shifted now to the idea of finding your own ways to learn. I think that's the most important thing. If reading is your style, do it. But I think the biggest thing here is to experiment. Try out reading, try listening to podcasts, try reading articles. You may even like going to a library and just picking up books there and just going home and just taking notes and then leaving. Or you might like Twitter for your notes, or you might use Blinkist. If you guys don't know what Blinkist is, it's like a 5-minute shorts. It's like short form. If you're in this community, you might know what short form is, but it's like short form. If you like that, go for it. I know Lex Friedman, he uses short form. He doesn't read books because he says he doesn't have time. That's okay. But I think the important thing here is to experiment as much as you can. Do what you want with this information, and have a good week.